things to eat and drink, some suggestions, some things worth trying. And then the second one will be activities and things to do. So as I said, this is just for Tokyo. In the future I will do more Japanese cities, because again they're completely different, and there's so much this country offers. And I've been a few times in. There's my cat. If I tried to fit it all into one video, we'd be here for days. So let's get started. I have some videos. Now these are photos, sorry. Now these are from my own trips. Some of them are from quite a few years ago, so they're not necessarily the best quality, but we'll go through them together. Cup of tea. She can probably tell I'm English, so I'll never be far from a cup of tea. I'm so sorry about the cat, honestly. I would shut her out and do this completely separately from her, but she will scream the house down. I say house, I live in a flat, but yeah, we're unhealthily attached to each other, and if I lock her out of the room, all you will hear is her meowing, so I'm afraid you're gonna have to put up with seeing her every now and then. She'll get fed in a little bit, so she'll disappear. Okay, so jumping straight in, let's talk about the maid cafes. So I'll put you right in at the deep end. So maid cafes are, they're not for everyone. I just wanted to try it and see what all the fuss was about. But yeah, it's not necessarily for everybody. So a maid cafe there's hundreds all over Tokyo, and essentially it's young women, I don't know, 18 to 25, who dress up like French maids, as you'll see here. You're not actually supposed to take pictures, but yeah, this is from about 8 years ago. So I they're so gentle. It's, you know, it's very much like a, I'll take the napkin, lay it out, fold it in, pull it. It's very precise. It's really beautiful to watch. So yeah, if you ever get the chance, Japanese tea ceremony for sure. Okay, and you can see this is the, like, sorry it's so blurry, this is the sort of like a ladle to take the water in and out of, and it's always a green tea. Oh, is it green or is it matcha? I think it's matcha. Mine was, the problem is it was bright green. If you are a matcha fan, you might like it. I don't like matcha, and I actually didn't like the tea because it's a kind of like drinking grass. It's very thick, very full of flavour. I mean, it's great for your system, your health system, but it's that might be why I've only done it once, because I didn't like the drink. But I went for the experience rather than the food and beverage. And I think we got given some little sweet treats, like red bean paste things, which again I'm not a huge fan of, so yeah. But yeah, I was polite and I'll eat anything once, try anything once. What do we have next? So this has become a bit of a online sensation in later years. So this is from my most recent trip, which was end of last year. This is the famous Rainbow Toasty. Now normally I wouldn't get excited about a cheese sandwich, but look at it, look at those colours, and I haven't edited these images in any way. It is just that bright. Purple, blue, green, yellow, a bit of red and orange, and then pink. They are that vibrant, so if you're someone who worries about like numbers and additives, probably not for you, because I'm sure nothing that's that colour is lacking in those. So and it is that stringy, but do you know what, honestly, there's a few places around Tokyo that do these. It's not like just one shop, and it was so good. I know you can't really do a cheese toasty wrong, but this was really, really tasty, really tasty. So, and I mean, it was like a couple of £100 or something. It was pretty, you know, it's not expensive. Classic street food, or what has become a classic street food. Totally worth it. Yeah, really nice, really delicious. Good. It was like a strong cheddar, which I love. The stronger the better. So yeah, cheese toasty, really nice. Okay, next. So another area in Tokyo it comes alive more sort of in the evening, especially at weekends. It's a late night activity for adults. And in Tokyo, in Japan, the drinking age is 21. It's the same as the US. So I was old enough because I am 31. It's the Golden Kai area. So, as I say, yeah, Golden Kai is these small alleyways lined with bars. pay for your drink. And they are sorry, that's my cat's feeder going off. They are absolutely tiny, so this actually looks bigger than it was. So you've got the ceiling here, and they reckoned you could fit 15 people in. I'm not sure I believe that, because it was absolutely boiling hot in here. And we were there in September, so not the hottest time of year, but I was sweating. And they had loads of different drinks. This is just one particular one we went to. I can't remember the name, I'll be honest with you. And they were well priced. I live about an hour from London, so everything is expensive in the UK. So yeah, drinks in Japan were an absolute bargain. But yeah, as I say, the area is called Golden Gai, Gai, and there's loads and loads of teeny tiny bars just like this, and you can go in with friends, family, whoever you're travelling with, or just go in on your own. Loads of people go in solo. I got chatting to a local guy, and he went in this particular one quite regularly, and it was really nice to talk to him. He was giving us some recommendations for the trip. So there's not always seating. This one was standing remotely. There was another one that it did have seats, but it was absolutely packed, so we didn't go in there. We've been exploring all day, so I really did want somewhere to sit down. Even at 31, my knees have had it. But yeah, they're really friendly, and especially if you've been to Japan, you'll know all the people are really friendly, really accommodating. So if you go in on your own, there's no reason to feel awkward or uncomfortable. They'll really look after you. There was actually another one we went to, again standing remotely, no cover charge, and there were just some other tourists in there from the US, and I mean, we must have been there about an hour, just chatting to them and giving each other tips, and the girl behind the bar as well. We told her what the rest of our travel plans were, and she gave loads of advice as well. So they're really, really friendly, really, really welcoming. So yeah, that's English and Chiba. Similar to, sorry, the reflection in my screen's not great as daylight, so you can see all the signs of different shops, different bars. I mean, it's not the nicest area in Tokyo. Like, there are places that are absolutely stunning, but there's no reason to feel unsafe. And there's loads of tourists there as well. You're all there for the same thing, so it's really lovely, if a bit seedy looking. So this next one, as I say, I am not a massive coffee drinker, but I will travel for a fun coffee. So this is a little coffee shop called Hat Coffee, H-A-T. It was a bit of a walk away from where we went to Kawabashi Street, which is where they sell all their kitchen utensils and things for restaurants. And it was a little bit of a walk away, but I was determined to find it, and I did. So it was well worth it to me. So you can go order a coffee, and they do teas and cold drinks and things like that. But it's just a cafe, and they'll draw latte art on your coffee, but not like, when they pour the milk in and So if you can't tell, my cat is black. So there's limits to what they can do, but I just thought it was amazing. It's really, really awesome. I haven't got the picture that this is from to hand, but I can tell you it's absolutely spot on. So totally worth it. Sorry, I had to pause there. My cat used the litter tray. This is kind of the office slash cat room slash where I hang on my washers to dry. So all her stuff is in here. So yeah, once again, this is called Hat Coffee. Bit of a trick. Really sweet, really worth it. Next is a place called Pepper's Parlour. And as you can tell, this is a robot cafe. So as I say, I went in September, so they were kind of gearing up for Halloween, so there were loads of little Halloween decorations. Someone's meant to be, I presume, a vampire with the cape. Little pumpkins, cats, and black cats in Japan are considered lucky, which I was a big fan of. This one's dressed in orange. They had a lot of autumnal flowers as well, so really nicely themed. And I pre-booked. You can turn up and just see if you can get a table, but with anything that's remotely cool to do, always try and book it because it gets filled in fast. So yeah, so I booked this. And again, as is the case with themed restaurants, the food is not the best you're going to get in Japan, but it's still really tasty. So yeah, I mean, you can go for a nice meal virtually anywhere in Japan, particularly in Tokyo. There's so many restaurants, and they all, quite often, they tend to like perfect one thing. So somewhere will do tempura, somewhere will do teppanyaki, somewhere will do ramen, another place will do sushi, and they really perfect their craft. When you come to these sorts of places, you're going for the novelty, so it's not going to be the best food you're going to have out there, but it's still going to be tasty, and it's a funny story to tell afterwards. So you arrive at the restaurant, and a little robot will take you to your table. So A5 was the table, and then every single table has their own robot, Pepper. So they're with you, literally at your table. You sit around him, and this one was singing. He did a number of different songs. There was Taylor Swift, Gangnam Style, all sorts of things. You could ask it questions, and it's like an AI, right? So it'll answer your questions and do things like that. This one, not that we were anywhere near Christmas, but I love Christmas. So. No. I hope you can hear that. I didn't want it to be too loud, but and what I had, there was so you can order from the menu, and your robot will bring it to your table as well. So these deliver food. But when I was on the website to book it, I don't know, I must have done something wrong, but I got really confused because I didn't. It kind of was like asking what I wanted to eat, but I was booking it a month in advance. So I was like, well, I don't know what I want to eat when I'm there. So I just pre-booked an afternoon tea, and it was a themed one. So we had I don't think I have the picture. No, it was a sort of an apple drink that was layered, so it was green on top, black on the bottom. Had a corn soup served in a pumpkin is Zhao in Mulan. It sounds like the character from Mulan, I think, anyway. But anyway, this is called Zao, Z-A-O-U, where the restaurant is laid out like a boat. So, and I mean, you can sit around the edge as well, but the centre is shaped like a ship, and around the edges is fish. So if you can tell, this is a fish restaurant. Although I think you could get some chicken and stuff, and I think there were vegetarian options as well. But primarily it's a fish restaurant, so you turn up. Again, I would book in advance because it gets very busy, very popular. Anything cool needs a booking. You turn up, you are given a fishing rod with some bait. You do have to pay for that because you could just order a preset meal, but if you want to do the fun bit, you need to pay for the rod. It's like 100 yen, it's not a lot. And then you pick the fish you want, take your rod and do what they would have done hundreds of years ago. You fish for your dinner. It's not hard. Worst case scenario, you can use a net and scoop them out. It's also not necessarily for the faint of heart, because once you've caught your fish, you have a choice of 2 ways. You can have it cooked, so sushi, fried, steamed. They had so many different options, and some fish had more options than others. And they then take your fish away and bring it back to you a few moments later with however you've asked for it to be cooked. So it's really, really, really fresh. But if you're not one to know where your food came from or catch your food to then eat it, this probably isn't for you. But I liked it. I like the novelty. And as I say, it was nice food. The Japanese do fish well, so yeah, Zao, Z-A-O-U, a funky restaurant to visit. And then the final themed restaurant. I can't remember the name of this restaurant. I should have looked up what it was called before, but I forgot. But basically, if you type in teddy bear restaurant Tokyo, it'll come up. So this is a place that you would have hot pot. It's not ramen. Ramen is different. This is hot pot. So this, you choose your flavour and your bear, and depending what one you choose depends on the colour. So I believe, so in the bottom there's oil, and I think some water, and then I think this bear has whatever stock flavouring you chose, so fish, vegetable, chicken, things like that. And then this is made of, I want to say collagen, but I don't know why. I don't know what a So it didn't bother me if it wasn't cooked very much, whereas chicken, see, if you don't cook chicken properly, it can make you quite sick, so I played it safe and got beef. But yeah, my mum had chicken and she was fine. But just something to keep in mind, the chicken will take longer to cook, so that is cooked through. And then there's like a whole sauce station, so you can either, I guess you can add it to the stock if you wanted, but typically what you would do is you would take your meat, veg, whatever it is you've ordered, cook it in the hot pot, and then dip it in one of the sauces. And you could also get sides and things like that. And to be honest, I found a lot with things like this, and the same with like sushi places. You always go in and think, oh, it doesn't look like a lot, this won't fill me up. And then in my case, I always order more, which is always the wrong thing, because then I have too much and I am stuffed full. So yeah, don't necessarily, you can order more as things go on. I don't think this one had a restriction, I'll have to check, but yeah, something to keep in mind is sometimes when you think it doesn't look like a lot, it will fill you up, particularly with rice. I always find I cook way too much rice, pile it on my plate, especially when I'm at home cooking, and then realise I've cooked way too much and I'm not going to finish it. So that's it for the themed restaurants. Now I know some of you may be screaming at the screen going, what about things like Pokemon? Obviously Japan is the home of Pokemon. Yes, there is a Pokemon cafe, but it is notoriously difficult to get into. And yes, I did get a reservation. I'll be honest, I did it when I was in Osaka, so I'm going to save it for my future Osaka video. But if I hadn't have been able to eat there, I wasn't so worried. I just wanted the merch. So that's why that's not in this video, because I went to the Osaka one, so that's the only one I can comment on. So you'll have to wait for that one, so stay tuned. Something else, well, it's not really a themed restaurant, but something funky, was this bar. It's called A12, A12, and this is the entranceway. I believe I think it was Shinjuku, and it was a little bit of a walk away again, but totally worth it. This is the entrance to the bar. If you don't know it's there, you wouldn't know what it is. It's just on a random street down from the station, totally unassuming. I think this was like a block of flats, but you find the one that's called 12, which I think is one of those two. Pull it open, and inside is revealed ta-da! Staircase. And then if you follow the staircase down, you will find yourself in this absolutely stunning underground bar. It's really lovely in there. It's not the cheapest place, you can get cheaper drinks elsewhere, but it's a cocktail bar, and they did so many different flavours. I mean, you could get, and they were all themed as well. Like, one of them was like going to the movies or something, and it was popcorn flavoured, things like that. A couple of classics as well, so old fashions, things like that. But it was really, really lovely, and we got some table snacks. If you want extra table snacks, you do have to pay, but the first lot are free. And they've got these old records that decorate, and it goes up to the ceiling as well, decorating the walls. It's kind of like a speakeasy, I guess. It's not, I don't think there was a formal dress code, but you know, like I was in jeans and a t-shirt, it was fine. and it's all delicious. Okay, absolutely stunning. I could do a video just on street food, but I won't. But one place that was worth visiting was the Tsujiki Fish Market, which links to what will be in my second video. It's not that far away from a museum called Team Labs, which I will really recommend visiting, but I'll talk about that in another video. But yeah, the Tsujiki Fish Market right by the station, and it is exactly what it says it is. It's a fish market. But they also have street food there, so you can buy fresh produce, local produce, and take it home and cook, or you can have it cooked while you're there and eaten. So I'll come back to this. This is like a fishy crab cake. I mean, it's not that exciting. It's the fact you could get it on the street. It was amazing. You can get scallops on a stick. They taste amazing. You can get little octopuses. They taste amazing. There's like a glaze on them. They're delicious. As I say, I will eat anything once. I don't really have a limit on what I will or won't try. So basically everything in Japan I was munching away on. And then the main reason that I went to this fish market was these. These are fish crackers. So I don't think it's a particularly common thing in the rest of the world, but in the UK, if you order a Chinese or something, you get a bag of prawn crackers. And they're kind of these fishy tasting, puffed up crisps, but they're not made from potato, but they're white, and I really like them. They're really tasty. This is kind of like that, but way cooler. So you took a token, picked your crustacean or fish. I chose, if you can't tell from the tentacles, an octopus. And they're not alive. Don't worry. They're already dead. But they then they have this kind of hot plate. They put the batter it is like.